Hi everyone, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to the Lunchtime Gem Talk by the Gem Museum. My name is Kunming and this is Andrew.
Andrew.
We are going to talk a little bit about sapphires and topaz and tanzanite. And just before I go forward, I just want to share this broadcast with all my friends. So hang on a while. Let me just do some liking and sharing. So Andrew, what wait, hang on. Andrew, tell us a little bit about this lunchtime gem talk. Wow, I do the like and share. Hi Shirley,
Hello,
hello.
Shirley. Hi.
Hi.
So the lunchtime gem talk is something that we came up with since everybody is starting to work from home again. So I mean, it's still connect with people. That's what we're trying to bring up to build a community, talk about gemstones, to share the passion of gemstones too. So for the talk, until today, we are still talking about the webinars that we did, the questions that brought up from the webinar, even as well from the normal visitors that visited the museums. So we just thought that it might be good to share with the rest of you. Maybe some of the people unable to visit us or even attend our webinars might might gain something from the questions asked
Yeah,
from our participants and visitors.
yeah, that's true. Because of the current cases and everything. Hi Shirley. Hey. Yeah, if you have any friends who want to listen in, just help us to like and share with them. And so at this point, I'm doing some sharing.
So yeah, today we're gonna talk about topaz, tanzanite, and sapphires. So these three are actually our last three webinars. And next time would be, I mean, we're not gonna talk about webinars anymore because we run out of topic. So we're gonna talk about some more unusual things.
Yeah, that's true. So Andrew, can you share your slides with us?
Okay.
So Shirley, have you have lunch? Yeah, we haven't had lunch yet, so maybe later. Our lunch is doing this lunchtime
Yeah.
gem talk. Yeah, no, yeah, come have lunch soon, okay? So hi everyone, and so Andrew, so let's continue to the next slide.
Okay.
Working
So
concurrently.
the the Lunch Gem Talk brought to you by Coming and I from the Gem Museum Singapore. So these are our objectives. I'm gonna go through really quickly to connect with our past and new audience, to answer any questions that arose from past webinars, to recap past webinars, and also to share questions asked by visitors of the Gem Museum. And today's topic will be the Imperial Topaz, Tanzanite, and Sapphires. So these three are actually the topics of our previous webinars.
Yeah, wow.
All right, are
So
we?
anyone want to have any comments? Please do share on the comments, and we can keep this like a conversational kind of a show. And to share our passion about gemstones and the beauty of gemstones. Wow, so nice
Yeah,
to talk about gemstones.
yeah. Yeah, it's a relaxing lunch talk, just casual. Yeah, just you can just anyone can just type anything in the comment, and then we try. If we have time, we can try to go through all of them.
Yeah, can you hear the music, Andrew?
Can.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's go.
So the first topic would be the Imperial Topaz, a king's gem. Once misidentified gem is now one of the highly sought after gem. So first question, Of course, one of the most asked question is they will ask about the value of the stone. How much is it? Like, is it expensive? Is it valuable? Does it have any resale value? This is the most popular question in every day.
in the
Every
museum.
time we meet, yeah, in the museum, yeah. So even in the museum, like during the webinars as well, surely somebody will ask, "Hey, how much is this?" You know. So, so is Topaz valuable, right? This question is very sub. I mean, depends. It depends on what Topaz it is. If we're talking about like Imperial Topaz, precious Topaz, like the
Yeah,
photo here is actually quite valuable. Like, how
yeah,
much is it though, Kumail? Actually, this is one of your stock.
yeah. This stone, I think this is a 1.5 carat, a 1.5 carat stone from Brazil. I think we are retailing it about 4,900 or $5,000. Yeah, it's a very rare color. The color is like a peach color stone, and it looks like the sapphire paparaja, And
Mm.
yeah, it's a very unique stone. And topaz is valuable. It used to be. Can you share some history with us, Andrew, in the olden days?
The olden days, why is it misidentified before? Because back in the days, people would just call topaz, the name topaz for every yellow stone.
Oh,
Okay. Until they slowly identify individually, oh, this is citrine, oh, this is crystal beryl, oh, this is peridot. Only then topaz come to light. Oh, this is topaz, is unlike any other stones.
yeah.
Mm.
So
So topaz also comes in many different colors. The peach is one of the rare colors. Actually, pink, red, they are one of the most sought after colors. It's also quite rare.
it's very very beautiful. I think, yeah, because the RI is also pretty high. So when it sparkles, right, it's actually very very attractive. And
Mm.
topaz is in this region, because a lot of the topaz sources are more to like Middle East, Brazil, in South America. In Singapore, I think mostly you see the, yeah, like what Shirley said, the blue ones.
Mm.
Yeah, and also the blue ones are actually, most of them are treated, they have been radiated to get that color. And therefore, and the next kind of topaz is also the white ones. So the white
Mm.
ones do not have any color, so therefore, and it's very available in the market. So in terms of value, it actually is not so high. You can get it for a few, maybe maybe 50, $60 a piece, or 100 over dollars. A lot of times you pay actually for the workmanship, for the cutting. You also might see some topaz that are very high price, and this is also because of the cutter, the effort in cutting and the cost of cutting. So
Mm.
in the market in Singapore, you don't see so much of a pink color, unless you visit a jeweler that does a lot of European jewelry, or jewelry from other countries. Yeah, then you will see a lot of this pink color, or precious. They call it precious topaz, which is like a golden color, and those are very precious. Can be a few $1,000s a carat, or even the whole piece. A few $1,000s. Yeah, but most of the time, what you see are those like colorless or blue.
Mm.
Yeah, that brings
So
us. Yeah,
so which brings us to the next question. So why are they so common? Why are they so inexpensive? It's because some of them they are just very common. Like what are the most common colors for topaz? The colorless ones and the blue treated ones. So so
what
that
what
that yeah.
What are some
Go
of
ahead.
the gemology that you know about topaz, Andrew?
Topaz, gemology wise, the refractive index is 1.61, 1.62. So it's actually not that high, but they can achieve quite a good luster. It's actually much shinier than the quartz. Uh, Although the difference is just like 0.1. Yeah. And their hardness is at 8. It's actually Topaz is actually the hardest of the silicates. You know,
Oh, yeah, I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Fun fact,
Fun
hardest of the
fact.
silicate. Uh, so it's 8. Other thing that is harder, those are like oxides, like chrysoberyl, corundums, and diamonds. They are carbon. So and
Oh, I didn't know that. So oxides are normally harder.
that's what we know. That's what we know
Okay.
from the most hardness scale.
Ah,
And then yeah, other colors of the topaz like yellow, brown, those comes after the colorless and the blue topaz. Rare colors like pink, sherry, the reds, violet. I don't think I've seen a violet topaz before, or even purple.
yeah,
Have
I
you?
also haven't seen. Would
Those
like
are
to
quite
see.
rare lah. Yeah,
Yeah.
would love to see. Yeah, so these are the common colors.
What are the causes? What is the cause of color in topaz? Do you know, Andrew? Or can you share something about it?
If I'm not mistaken, the pink, the red ones are caused by manganese or even chromium. I can't recall.
Yeah.
But for the yellow, should be iron lah. Mostly
Yep.
yellow stones are caused by irons.
So actually, wow, so interesting. So colorless means it's pure lah. It doesn't have any other like trace element that cause the color.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's
And
interesting.
typically topaz they are quite clean in by nature, so they do not have any clarity issues.
If you say that, I think you go to the next slide.
Okay, so not this
Yeah.
one, maybe it's this one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
The-
so let's not look at the question first, but let's look at the topaz on the left. So
I,
speaking of
I
clarity,
I bought
and
this
this is also
stone
your
when I
stone,
was in,
yeah.
yeah, I bought this in Mogok, in central of not cen- yeah, central Burma in Mogok. I bought a big rough. The rough was pretty huge. It's almost like this size,
Oh,
and it was quite quite included, but it's a Burmese topaz. So I gave it to one of my friends. His name is John Virgil, and he helped me to cut it. So the cutting charges was more than the stone, but you can see the shape of the stone was really beautiful. The cushion is a slightly different kind of cushion, where the edges are not like straight, but it's like curved. I didn't realize it was not so clean. Only after cutting, then I was like, oh man, it's not so clean.
no wonder
But
he charged you quite high for it.
yeah, because it's a large piece, and I thought since it's not clean, might as well just do a good cutting, so you increase the value of the stone. And it's about, I think, 40 over carats. This stone.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
yeah. And good thing about big stones is that you can actually see the cutting, the facets and everything. So that's one of my ways of adding value to the stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cutting is one of the most overlooked aspect of a gem.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question, how to differentiate colorless topaz from other colorless gemstones with or without instruments? So whenever people see colorless topaz, we have some colorless topaz in like on display in a museum, and then it's just common, just nature lah. You see, colorless topaz, colorless quartz, and all other colorless stones. You just ask how to differentiate them. Uh, Most people would not have any instruments at home, so with the naked eye, but just by the observation itself, can be quite difficult to identify them. If you're comparing with other stones like diamonds or even cubic zirconia, zircons, those stones that have fire, like the dispersion of light, then you can tell because topaz I don't think they have any fire, right?
No, it's very different. Unless even if you cut it really well, you don't see like the dispersion of the light.
Yes, so that is one of the key features to differentiate diamonds, CZ, and zircon from topaz. But what if I put side by side with a clear quartz, a faceted clear quartz?
You will see the faceted clear quartz. It will look less bright than compared to the topaz. If both are polished the same quality, polished the same kind of quality, because just now you were saying that topaz was Ri is 1.61, whereas quartz is about 1.54, 1.55. So it's lower than topaz. So when you put it side by side, you will be able to see some differences. But of course, many times the lighting is also play a part, where that's also one of the reasons people also kind of confuse quartz and topaz. Sometimes people are looking for a white stone. They will ask me, "Hey, I want to look for some topaz, or I want to look for some yellow stone." They also say the same thing. I want to look for some topaz, but they're actually looking for citrine.
Yes.
Yeah.
The misuse of names.
So actually, one of the reasons why we talk about this gem talk is also to really. There's so many misnomers. There's so many confusion also in the market, and a lot of times we meet people and people ask us about them. So that's why we do this talk.
Yeah. So if you see a lot of gemstones, I mean, you see very frequently, you should be able to tell eventually, like how we study gemology. During in school, we just keep looking at stones, keep identifying until sometimes we can tell just by looking at them. You see, so maybe you can have that skill eventually.
Wow. X3 tuna. You say, is it like how people think any blue gem is a sapphire? Yeah, that's true. Because sapphire has a long history, a couple of thousand years of history for sapphire. And hey, you close your thing.
Yeah, we are talking.
Oh no, you can leave it on. I can do the adjustment of screen.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's like blue gem that is sapphire, and it's yeah, people's ideas. Oh, blue gem sapphire, Yellowstone quartz or citrine or topaz. So greenstone. What's the first thing that come to your mind, Andrew? Greenstone.
Emerald.
Redstone.
Oh, redstone is ruby.
White stone.
Diamond. What? Diamond. Yeah.
Orange stone.
Orange stone, mandarin garnet,
Purple stone.
purple stone, amethyst.
Multicolor stone.
Wow, multicolored. Water, tourmaline.
Huh? Yeah, okay. So now we have suddenly two different views. One is tourmaline. I would say opal.
Multicolored stone. Okay.
Okay.
I guess it's just down to like, how many stones you know about. Like, like if you know a lot of different type of stones, you can tell different answers. But the most common ones are widely marketed in a trade, like the purchase for diamond, ruby, sapphire, emerald. So whenever people say the color, people just think of that.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I like to travel with my father, he's a walking dictionary. You can come and see this stone. I said, wow, this is a white stone. This is a topaz lah. No, it's not topaz. This is a geragimavite. I said, huh? What geragimavite? What's this? It's a white stone. It's a colorless stone. Very rare, Kuming. So one of the things about gemology, right, is constantly learning, constantly picking up things, and I think my dad has passed this to me. So whenever I go, I try to ask a lot of questions, and I like to search the matter out. So later you're going to ask me one question also, right, about the blue stone. I will start to tell you. So X3 Tuna, thanks for asking that question. Okay, let's continue on.
Okay, last question for topaz would be how to tell whether the topaz is treated or not treated. A quite I think we haven't finished this question yet. So
Yeah,
with instruments we is easily tell by the refractive index, the refractometer, because each of them they have their own RIs, okay, based on their chemical composition. Okay, so that's how
yeah,
gemology identify gemstones with instruments.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So last question will be how to tell the topaz is treated or not. So topaz is one of the stones that is widely treated, not just heat treated but irradiated as well to achieve that sky blue color of the aquamarine. So that's why Shirley said she has always seen the blue ones in the market. So um, they are irradiated and heated from colorless topaz, as colorless topaz are very common and widely available. That makes blue topaz widely available as well. So, but how to tell whether they are treated? I mean, for blue topaz, you can only assume that it's treated, lah. You know, you can only assume because it's just so widely done in the trade. But usually, if we're talking about natural blue topaz, they are usually really, really pale. Okay, really, really pale blue. The only one I saw that have quite a saturated blue is in one of the collection of the Arkenstone, which is one of the most prolific collectors in the world. Really huge blue topaz. But other than
Wow.
that, they are usually quite pale.
Yeah, quite pale and
And
yeah,
yeah, very pale. So, but other colors is quite difficult to tell because, as I mentioned earlier as well, topaz they are quite good in clarity, and one of the ways we identify treated stones is by the change of appearance of the inclusions after the treatments.
yes.
So, if there's no inclusions, how are we gonna tell whether the stone is treated or not? I mean, it could be treated naturally underground, or it could be treated artificially in a lab. Yeah, unless the stone has inclusions like this heavily included stone, maybe we can
Heavily
see
lah.
some.
Don't say badly
Yeah,
lah. You know.
yeah, heavy. I was just trying to find my words. So, uh, unless we see some alterations of the appearance in the inclusions, then we can tell.
Yeah. So actually, finding out the treatment, especially through that caused by radiation, is a challenge for gemologists. So, because you there's it's quite hard to determine. Let's put it this way. Not much research also gone into to actually finding, because so far the technology wise there are certain limitations, either very costly to do, yeah, especially, yeah, and one of the things is also the cost. If let's say the stone is worth maybe $100, the testing machine is let's say $100,000. It's like, wow, you need to test a lot of the stone, then you can recover the cost of the machine. And then also not just the machine cost, but the knowledge to know how to differentiate the data from the from the machine. So these are actually some of very overlooked facts. So a lot of times when you buy a stone, it doesn't come with a certificate. Normally the value is much lower, and for consumers, actually now there's the rise of a lot of online platforms selling. You know, you might see stones that are really very low in value, because either the cert is something that is there's some certs in the market. It costs as low as $5 to get a cert, and then there, yeah, there's not much of a. Also, you need to find out also what kind of people are doing the certificates. You know, what kind of tests they run, what kind of quality analysis. You know, are they audited and things like that. So these are some thoughts to think about. And I just actually wrote a disclaimer, you know, Andrew, on my website, because I realized a lot of people like to ask me, hey, Kuming, can you have a look at this stone? Or can you tell me what stone it is? You know, some people send me WhatsApp. Yeah, WhatsApp me, you know, Kuming, what do you think this stone is? So my friend told me a story before. He used to be the president of the ICA, of the International Colorstone Association. He said, Kuming, if you took the newspaper and turned and went to the classified section, and you see a classified ad of a lady, and it says, I want a husband, will you call her and marry her from the photo? So Andrew, will you call her and marry her on the photo?
No.
Yeah, precisely. So same thing he says. That's why when people send me photos of any stone, to give my opinion is like marrying the person on the photo. So I always remember that, and because even a trained gemologist, without your equipment, you can only tell this much about something. So therefore, I always tell people, if you accept this disclaimer, then I can give you some advice, and also it's a professional service, so we do have a gem lab. We charge for all these services because of our experiences, and also there's actually a systematic approach that we do when we go and test something. So yeah.
So conclusion is that depends also. I mean, depends on whether we can find any inclusions. Radiation is quite difficult, as Koming mentioned, because natural radiation and artificial radiation, they both have similar properties. So
Yes.
it's just almost impossible to tell for now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So next will be
Ooh.
Tanzanite, the gemstone of the generation. Yes, it is. Truly is a big find that time. Rarer than diamonds, as blue as sapphire. So many people when they heard Tanzanite, first thing they heard about is their rarity, but how rare they are. So Tanzanite only found in one location, which is at the foothills of the Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. So it's only found in one location. That's why it's quite rare. I mean, it's not quite rare. It's
rare.
really rare. It's rare. It's rare. But more details into that, I can't really tell because I do not have the details. Like maybe they have reserves. I do not know. Maybe they are looking for another source. Who knows? But as for now, it's still mined in Tanzania alone. Okay, so it's some people actually say it's 1,000 times rarer than diamonds. Right.
It's true, because diamonds, you have 20, the last I checked was 20 mines that can produce diamonds on a commercial quality, but Tanzanite mine only one in the world,
Yeah.
So from that numbers, you can tell.
And most of the Tanzanite miners, they are artisanal miners. That means they are small scale. They dig with their hands, maybe some chisels, some picks to dig underground. So they cannot go too deep
Yes.
below. So there's a certain limitation to how they can mine, how much Tanzanite they can mine. So unlike the diamond mines, which is most of them, they are large scale, they can afford heavy machineries.
Yeah.
How many carats per year they can mine in a diamond mine?
Wow, couple of million carats.
Oh, that's a lot.
Couple of million
But
carats. I think offhand I'm not sure what is the mining output of the Venetia mine. Because I visited a mine called Venetia mine in South Africa in 2019. Wow, I was invited there by De Beers with a bunch of my friends, the young diamantiers. So the Venetia mine, right, is bigger than Singapore. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and their mining output for Venetia mine is 4 million carats a year. Yeah, it's a huge, large scale mining, so it's really a huge, large scale. Yeah. So, but on the other hand, you say only one location produce Tanzanite is rare. Yes, there's also another stone that only has one location that produce that kind of gemstone, and that gemstone is jadeite. Jadeite also is only one location that produces it. It's from Fagan in Myanmar, in Burma, and 80% of the jade from in the world comes from that place. So, although it's rare, but you see the value-wise, there's a very large range. There are lower quality and there are higher quality. So it's a good thing to actually think about. Oh, this Sun Pei Qi, she says, which is better investment, raw Tanzanite or Tanzanite gemstone? Andrew, you have any idea?
This is a difficult question. I think in terms of the investment, I can't really comment, but it's just how which one do you prefer the most? Like, do you like minerals or even gemstone? I mean, everybody have their own preference. Like the other day, I always ask visitors of the museum. I mean, which one do you like the most, like minerals or gemstones? I mean, everybody give different answers. It's just which one do you prefer? But investment wise, uh, I don't know leh. What do you think about this investment?
Well, I think very important is what is investment to you, Peichi. Because investment is something that one of the important things is called returns. And gemstone, when do you get your returns? A lot of times it's by enjoying it. If let's say you talk about emotional, but if you talk about money wise, a lot of times it's when you sell it. And many times when you buy certain thing because it's beautiful, it's not because whether it can make you a lot of money. There are many other better investments such as stocks, shares, which I'm not qualified to actually say all this, but it's from my own experience. Stock shares, houses, and because they have you can rent it out, or even shares you can get dividends. But gemstones, they are actually classified under collectibles. And in collectibles in the US, if you sell a collectible and you get a capital gain, the capital gain tax is 20%. So in terms of investment wise, you already have to pay a 20% capital gain tax. So I would rather you invest in other things. But if you talk about whether the beauty and the rarity, stored value and things like that, so far I have seen that there are a lot of auctions for raw stones, like minerals, and they do pretty well. If you go and check out Sotheby's, Christie's, you go and search minerals, right? You have seen the auctions of raw minerals actually went up quite crazy. Okay, I've seen reserve. I think there's one of the stones, which is a pyrite. I think the reserve price was $800. It was sold for I think 8,000, or even 20,000. So because it's one thing about minerals is really one of a kind. And I also have seen people selling their collections on different Facebook groups, collecting minerals, and people, they don't mind because the mineral itself really is one of a kind, and is made by nature. Whereas when you have a cut stone, you there's many other factors, like can it be set into jewelry, can it be can it be set in jewelry, how's the clarity and all these things. So Sun Pei Qi says this, cause I have been hearing some keep Tanzanite as price is going up. It's just like keeping gold, the value will increase in time to come. Well, a lot of things will go up because of inflation. At the end of the day, inflation every year makes things go up by 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, So that is something. But one thing different about Tanzanite and gold, because you talk about gold is empirical. It means what? You look at the gold, you just check how is the content of the gold, and then you can sell it at the market because there is a market for trading gold. But in Tanzanite, there is actually not really a market to sell Tanzanite there's no like a Tanzanite council, that governs the whole world. In gold is how many years we study? I think 4,000 years, right, or 5,000 years history. Andrew.
I think more than that.
Yeah.
For gold, yeah.
Yeah, gold has a very long culture and very well traded. Whereas gems, till date, there is not so well traded because you need a lot of knowledge, you need a lot of understanding, you know, and a lot of times the value of the gem, it depends on the beauty. And this thing, like for example, a piece of 1 kilo gold bar, the money, the value of the gold is not based on beauty. You don't see people wearing a chain with a 1 kilo gold bar going around. Hey, look at my gold bar, you know, it looks so cool. It looks actually a bit funny. Yeah, but it actually, the value is based on the thing itself. How many percent gold? Is it 999? Is it 916? Is it 18 karat? You know, and what kind of form it is? Is it investment precious metals or is it not? So that by itself is a topic which it's never ending. But at the end of the day, the goal is just based on what it is. Whereas for Tanzanite, oh, is it a treated stone? Is it natural? You know, what color it is? All this, and when it comes to beauty, right, there's so many factors. To some people, they like blue color. Wow, blue is like valuable. Some people, they don't like blue color. To blue is not valuable. So I would say if you want to bring this topic in, is a big discussion, and it's a constant debate because many people look at things very differently.
Yeah. I think it's not just for Tanzanite. In general, all gemstones except for diamonds, they do not have like a fixed price list for example, like buying and selling. You see, so it's just very volatile and it's very risky as an investment. So it's like you mentioned before, it's not really meant to invest.
Yeah, unless you do business like me
Yeah.
I have a store, I sell gemstones, I sell all these things. So it's a good investment because it's my business. Yeah, and why people buy it? Because I have customers who buy $100,000 worth of gemstone, $500,000 worth of gemstone because they like it. Beautiful and it's portable. And you have heard of many times it's a good store value, you know, but that's not just the main thing, it's just a small part of the assets. A lot of times the assets are much bigger. And a lot of times gemstones bring a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. That's why we're talking about it. You know, when you talk about gemstones, the beauty, I tell you, Tanzanite, you see a beautiful color. I just got one in my stock recently, a 6.5 carat. I think it's unheated, but it's not certified. So I'm not saying that it's unheated, but you can see green color, you can see blue color, you can see violet color on different angles of the stone, and it's very clean and 6.5 carat. So I like the stone very much. It's not so expensive. The whole stone, I think $4,000+. A 6 carat sapphire, easily, wow, much higher. Okay, let's continue on to the next slide.
Yes, so thank you for the question, Peichi. Really interesting. I mean, never ending question. So, I mean, all of the things that we answered, Pacey, just now is can relate to is Tanzanite affordable. So, rather, whether it's a raw Tanzanite crystal or a Tanzanite gemstone, the price depends on the quality itself. Whether it has good color, pure vivid blue or vivid violet, or let's say a good cut in a gemstone that can brings out the color, the sparkle of the gem. As in raw Tanzanite, some people want it to be trichroic visible. That means you can see 3 different colors from 3 different angles, and sometimes the trichroism itself can prove that the stone is not heated in any way. And then for let's say for raw Tanzanites, they actually have these cleavages which make them susceptible to fractures. And to find a very clean Tanzanite they can be priced really high. So because they are collectible, you know, people like it because of their rarity and their beauty.
Yeah, that's true. So I think Tanzanite is, like somebody say here, genic jewels. I feel investment is what you feel or get from the gemstone benefits. Most important is what makes you happy. Well, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah. And then soon Peichi, should get a gemstone heated or unheated. It's really a personal preference. Why are you getting the gemstone in the first place? That's a good question to ask, you know. And because some stones, if it's unheated, the value, and it's beautiful, the value becomes very high. You know, a lot of Tanzanite here, why is it very affordable? Because people are accept the heated stones. Yeah. Why? Because in that time I remember you sharing about it. It's like there are bushfires that happen in the bush where they find tanzanite, and these
Yeah.
bushfires actually hit the stone. And when you look at it, the color becomes really like a vivid blue kind of color and very, very unique. And because of that, also, uh, tanzanite is, I think, a few $100s a carat. I haven't seen tanzanite unless it's like a special branded tanzanite, like special cut and all this, like very high value, a few $1,000s a carat. You know, most of the time I see it's a few $100s a carat or something like that, and it's pretty affordable gemstone. You know, 1 carat stone you can buy a few $100s and things like that. So yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it's a good stone to own because it's very rare. You never know what's going to happen next also. You know, who knows, one day there are no more tanzanite, then wow, it becomes something very sought after. You want to buy it, there's no. Like even in COVID also, because of lack of traveling, there are a lot of short supply of gemstones. So yeah, you never know. Okay.
Yeah. So heated, unheated is yeah, I think some of the stones they are meant to be heated. Like tanzanites, they heat the tanzanite to make it more beautiful and more marketable. Like some stones like aquamarine is like 95% of aquamarines are heated and nobody cares because it's beautiful, you see. And if you
And
want
it's
an unheated,
permanent.
yeah,
And
it's
it's
permanent as
permanent.
well. If you want an unheated aquamarine, it'll be really pale, sometimes can be greenish as well. So it's just whether you can accept the heat treatment or not lah.
Yeah.
So, oh, where's my slide? Okay, next question would be, is Tanzanite worth buying? Okay, we have talked about this all this time. Like, yeah, how you, if you think it's beautiful, I mean, if you think it's within your budget, I mean, sometimes can be hard to resist their beauty, you know. It's really like, okay, like the cleavage I talked about, the Tanzanite crystal. So this picture right here is really, really clean. So Tanzanite, they have this basal cleavage, if I'm not mistaken. So it would cleave along with this uh, base. So you can see there's no basal cleavage or any cleavages inside. It's just pure, very clean crystal. So people can charge a premium for this clean crystal. And as I mentioned earlier as well, so people who mine tanzanites, they use picks, they use the shovels. Those kind of techniques might break. I mean, they might fracture the crystals. So unless they be very careful in their mining methods.
Yeah. So is it worth buying?
Is it worth buying? If it's for me, if I happen to find a Tanzanite crystal that is maybe within my budget, or if I think it's really beautiful, I mean, I'll just buy it just to admire it, you know. And then especially when it shows 3 different colors, you can just show it to people. Like, oh, you see this crystal, if you turn it from different angles, you can see people will be amazed, really, because nobody's
Yeah.
seen such a thing before. Only happens in nature.
Yeah. If you ask me, I love buying stones. I don't like selling stones so much. I love buying stones. Yeah, so you give me you give me a few $1,000s, within 5 minutes I can spend everything. Very shock, you know, you buy the stone, you select the stone, you see all the thing, and then you compare a bit, you know. That feeling it's a unique feeling. I miss this feeling, you know, actually when I travel. Like now it's September, right? September they always have a Hong Kong gem show, right? So I'll go there, I'll visit there. Just now I tell you, I spend a lot of money, a few $1,000s just to go there, book the air ticket, the accommodation, everything. But I tell you, buying stone is so fun, you know. You meet so many different kind of people from Afghanistan, from Thailand, from Israel, from America, and Japanese people. And then every seller is different, and then every how to say every stone you see is like, hey, this one 5,000, wow, you know, or this one $500, $200, $300. Wow, very shock. You see, especially those store, got a lot of stone then got those like got bargain one. Then you go and search slowly, then you see, wow, this stone nobody have seen it before. Why it's not sold yet? And only how much? $50. Okay lah. Jump and get it lah. So
Yeah.
it's what you say lah, Andrew. The budget lah, your own budget. What is comfortable for you? Yeah, if it's comfortable, buy. Few $100. I mean, where got like you go and buy watches no such thing as few $100. Something very rare. Rolex nowadays few $1,000s already. That's what I know lah. So gemstone is really very nice. You can buy stones like $50, $100. And then I mean buying for sales is a different thing lah. You have to see what's the market trend or this what. I always have some budget for my own spending lah. For the fun spending. Yeah, because it's really very important lah. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, next question. Are we gonna find another source of Tanzanite? We do not know. Nobody knows. Only time will tell. Okay, because Tanzanite, why Tanzania have Tanzanite is because of their unique geology activity that occurred millions of years ago. So that's why they have Tanzanite. So other location, maybe people are still busy looking for it. It's just, only time will tell this question,
Yeah, there are a lot of sources, right, of zoisite. Just now.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. Tanzanite is a species of zoisite. Okay, and actually zoisite can be found in many locations. Like maybe I stop share to. Maybe I just share another. Okay, so this everybody can see, yeah. Okay, so this is the zoisite locality, right? You can actually search it on mindat.org. Zoisite, you can find it in this many locations, and one location itself there's 159 mines. 385 for Europe. So it's actually quite abundant, the zoisite itself. But just Tanzanite alone is just in Tanzania lah.
Wow. 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 Okay, that's good information. Thanks for sharing, Andrew.
Yeah. Okay, so the
What's
last
next
topic for
slide?
today
sapphires.
will be sapphires, which is I think we just had it last week.
Yeah, last week.
Just last week. So anybody who missed it, you can go to our YouTube channel.
Wow, today
That's the thing about live show.
really live. So sapphire is the gem of legends, one of the most popular gemstones in jewelry. Okay, so how many of you like sapphires here? Can you have a shout out? Anybody like sapphires? Just type in the way I like sapphires, or show me some love on the comments. Yeah, so far, hey, nobody likes sapphires Oh no. I asked whether people like sapphires, but Shirley, Alice start to share the gem of legends. Wow, now got some response.
Yeah, it's one of the most popular gemstones in jewelries. Seriously,
Yeah.
I mean, the color is just amazing, unlike any other thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so we do have a lot of visitors. I mean, not just visitors, customers who come here to look for sapphires. So people will always ask, is light blue sapphire as valuable as dark blue sapphires? So this picture is actually can be seen in our museum. So we actually put it up in one of the showcase to show different shades of the blue. So it can be really dark, or it can be really light. So people, of course, just compare which one is better, like light or dark. And so I think as long as the dark blue sapphire is not dark until it's opaque, it should be more valuable than the light blue sapphire. I mean, that's my opinion. What about you?
Well, actually, sapphires, they have a long history, many years of history, tons of research. One of the reasons just now I was sharing with you, Andrew, why I keep so much sapphires is because sapphires is one of the most researched gemstone in the world. Because of heat treatment, over the years, people discover more about it, talk about low heat treatment, high heat, beryllium diffusion. So there's a lot of treatment, which is very well developed now. And on top of that, there's also research telling about the stones. So therefore, sapphire is something that is really tried and tested, and many people know about sapphires. So far, there's no other gem like sapphire, the blue stone. What other blue stones you can think of is most time it's sapphires. So value is there, and is a dark sapphire more valuable than a light blue sapphire? It really depends. Depends on the cutting and depends on the marketing. In some of the jewelers, the light blue sapphires are more valuable because of the designs. It fits the design, the branding. So one thing about gemstones is that they are millions of years old, and they are very durable. They have a long history, and value is something to the eye of the beholder. It's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So to me, the inclusions are not so not so obvious, and like what you say, it's not opaque. Then there's a higher value in terms of a darker color. But if it's totally black and darkish, the value becomes much lower lah. But if you can see some fire in it, some reflection, wow, actually it's very beautiful, especially when you set it with white gold, with diamonds. That kind of contrast, wow, awesome.
Yeah. So regardless, light blue or dark blue, these two would still not be as valuable as the royal blue lah. Okay, which is the middle one, or even the cornflower blue. So these two are the most desirable color. But I mean, light blue colors are quite nice as well. You can see the sparkle, the liveliness inside the light blue sapphires, right?
Yes.
So, you mentioned earlier, what are the other alternatives for blue sapphires? So far, I only can think of Tanzanite and blue spinels, right? These are the two of the more common alternatives for blue sapphires. What are the blue stones you have seen?
Let's ask the audience. Hi everyone, what are some blue stones you know? Please put in the comments below, and let's join in the discussion before I also share.
Blue stones apart from sapphire. Yeah, sorry, Kuming.
So those of you who check our Facebook, you all can like and our Facebook on Gem Museum. You will see that somebody actually posted something about spinel, blue spinel. So I posted a photo of two blue spinels, one 2 carat, one 3 carat from Vietnam. A photo of it in the page, and you see it's really nice blue. It's like a light blue sapphire. It's a blue spinel. Yeah. Anybody want to try? How are some other blue stones you know other than blue sapphire?
Other than blue sapphire, Tanzanite, blue spinel.
Yeah, please put in the comments. Blue garnets. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Blue garnets are rather uncommon.
Yes, it's like a bluish green. Most of the time, blue garnets that we have some in our collection is a color change garnet, and the color is more like green, blue green, bluish green. Yeah. And if you consider that as a bluish color, some alexandrites also are bluish. Yeah, wow, I tell you, the alexandrite also another level.
Yeah. So to think of it, there's not many blue gemstones around. Blue tourmaline, some people call it indicolite, aquamarine, from Anna, London blue topaz. All of them, they are blue stones, but most of them, they are not as vivid, as saturated as the blue sapphire. Maybe let's compare the royal blue. There's only a few stones that can compare to the royal blue sapphires. Maybe it's your turn to share.
So there are some rare stones such as Howin, is actually mined in Ireland. One of my friends gave us a sample piece to put in our museum. It's a very unique color. It's very vivid color, but it's not to the tone of a vivid blue. It's more like a cornflower blue on steroids. It's very vivid, kind of cornflower blue. There's also this stone called benitoite. Benitoite. Let me write properly. Benitoite.
BENE.
B-N-E, right?
Yep.
T-I-O-I-T. Benitoite. Yeah. Yeah, benitoite. There is also a light blue color, also rare stone, very valuable. There's also sapphire. Wow, this one, I see one before, very beautiful. Sapphire. It's also like blue
Also,
sapphire, but very rare. I saw before 2 carat stone. They wanted $20,000 for it. But very beautiful. You see already, it's like wow. You know? Yeah,
yeah,
so
so most of the
it's
blue stones are rare, lah.
rare.
Yeah, because blue is apparently is the rarest color in nature. Yeah,
Oh yeah, you don't see blue trees.
yeah.
Green is not the. I think green is not the rarest color.
Green, yellow,
Green is a common.
red also quite common, I think. Red.
Red common.
I
I
think I
mean,
think red is second behind blue, maybe
okay,
because of the
okay,
chromium. Yeah.
that's true.
Okay.
What's the next
Yeah.
slide?
So, okay, the next slide will be how to choose the sapphire. When people come here to buy sapphires, they will ask how to choose. So first, I will always suggest go with your favorite tone because it comes in many different shades and tones. Okay, whether you like it light, like it dark, like it extremely dark, it's really up to you. So once you've chosen the tone, you have to see whether the clarity is there, whether it has inclusions, color zonings. Does the inclusion affects the beauty of the stone? That's the important thing, right? Like whether it has crystals, fingerprints, visible inclusion, all right? So, and then lastly would be your budget, lah. Yeah, your budget, whether, I mean, everybody like beautiful stones, like the royal blue is really beautiful, but I mean, there's no budget for it, then just look for other tones, you know. I
That's
mean,
true.
is one of the difficult stones to choose from what I see from your bespoke company upstairs.
Yeah. Why you say that?
I mean, people would spend like an hour just choosing which sapphire they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, just talking about blue sapphire, but sapphire also comes in many different colors too.
different shades. You know. I think how to choose, like what Andrew says, how much you set your budget first. Then after that, you can go around looking. I mean, in our gem museum shop, you can find a sapphire at $50, $80, $100, $200, $300 to a few $1,000s. So it's really how you look at it, because one of the key factor also is how many inclusions. Some inclusions are very beautiful, but what happens is some of them they kind of cause distraction, especially you're thinking of setting into fine jewelry. So that's one of the considerations. Like you can see this pear shape, you can see color zoning on it. You know, some people like it, some people don't like it. You know, and that also affects the evenness of the color. So there are so many things to talk about, lah. But I think key point is set your own budget first. You know, and how much you want to spend, and then after that you can select beautiful stones as and when your budget allows.
Yeah. Okay, so next question, actually the last question for today will be, are there a lot of synthetic sapphires? So, sapphires, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the first gemstone to be synthesized because of their their demand, their beauty, and then they are actually quite easily made synthetically as well. So not just for the purpose to make into gemstone to deceive people, but they also use it for instruments or even for technologies as well. So I'm
Yes.
sure some of you even heard like the new Apple Watch, they have this sapphire glass, right? So sapphires, they have extreme hardness, so they are quite durable for everyday wear. They are quite resistant to scratch. So that's why people synthesize them for these purposes. And in terms of gemstones, yes, there are a lot of synthetic sapphires in the market. Depends where you go. Like if you go to places like Bangkok, Thailand, places where they make synthetic stones, of course they have a lot of synthetic sapphires in the market. So it's quite important to know how to maybe differentiate them. Or I mean, there's no decisive way to just tell just by looking whether it's natural or synthetic. I mean, just be cautious when you go to these kind of places. Of course, do not buy in the streets lah. I mean, definitely people selling in the streets are, you know, they do not cost a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of street markets, in Thailand,
Yeah,
in
maybe it's
Vietnam, and in
Vietnam also.
Myanmar, Cambodia. A lot of times the gem trading is all on the streets in India, especially the diamond trading or even the emerald trading in Colombia. It's all on the streets. But yeah, there'll be people trying to peddle some synthetic stones. Had many people who approached us in the streets. I remember one time in Ranapura, I was there. We came out of the vehicle, and this guy took a 10-carat color change sapphire, round shape. She wanted $50 from me. I was like, "Oh, this is a synthetic stone." I mean, $50 is not a lot of money to buy for a stone, but my purpose wasn't to buy a synthetic stone. So, and yeah, so you have to be careful.
Always be caution. Always be cautious.
Yeah. So synthetic sapphires, most of the time they use for many appliances such as sapphire glass for watches, even your ballpoint pen. Have you ever wondered your ballpoint is actually a synthetic ball bearing, and then there are many other applications of synthetic sapphires in abrasives and in even a lot of it is the watch faces. They use sapphire glass. Hui Ying say in Vietnam many synthetic sapphires in the market. Yeah, many countries have different market and different stones. Pei Qi asks, can diamond detector help to differentiate? Andrew, why not you take this question?
As the name of the detector suggests, it's a diamond detector, so it will not detect sapphires. So usually those detectors, they would just label stones other than diamonds as maybe
Imitation.
imitation or simulants. So it's meant for diamond testing rather than gemstone testing. So I mean, recently, I think last year, 2 years ago, right, the Presidium actually came to us to show off some of the new products. So they actually have develop a new testing pen to test colored gemstones. So we tested it. I mean, it's fun to use, but it's not as accurate as the gemological instruments. I mean, I remember is that you can have to insert some of the options, like what are the colors. I mean, I think we can only insert the color, right? The color, and then we soon poke the pen onto the stone, and then it will show few options that you can choose from, few answers. So it's not as accurate as it seems.
I think what you can say is that you really need to know your instrument and you know your gemology. So here at the Gem Museum, we conduct workshops. At the Gem Institute, we also have workshops, right? We can actually learn about gemology. And now information, we can do it online too. We have online classes. You can come and study. And so far, we have online gem. You can just check Far East Gem I think Far East Gem Institute.eventbrite.com. Gem Institute, let me type it down. .eventbrite.com. Yeah, you can go there and have a look and sign up for some of the courses available. Yeah, because using an instrument to detect, you need to know a lot of other factors. Then there's no hard and fast way to actually tell about gemstones. Yeah, so that's why the labs are still in business. That's why people charge few $100s, few $1,000s for a certificate. It's because of the value of what it can bring. And even though you use a $100,000, $200,000 machine, you need to be trained to know how to analyze the results. This is one thing. So therefore, there's many factors, and you said that one instrument that helps test hardness. Hardness test is destructive. You need to scratch the surface. So normally we don't scratch gemstones because it will cause a lot of damage to the stone. Normally we do a hardness test on like carvings where there's a base where you can scratch which is inconspicuous, or maybe a mineral carving at a certain site. So we try not to do hardness tests on faceted gems. Yeah, and therefore, so one thing I want to, yeah, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, so I think there are many options out there. Presidium is a good company. They created the diamond tester, and for that use, it's actually very helpful. Of course, there are people that modify the circuitry, and like I heard of my friend. He telling me, oh, he went to a certain place, right? Then they take this gem tester. He test. He said if it green light, means it's a natural stone. So that's how he bought some stones. Then he realized it was not natural. It was a synthetic stone. So yeah, there are many ways people like to sell it because it's lucrative. It's very lucrative, high value for a small piece. So that is why have to be careful. And one of the best things is to arm yourself with knowledge. Learn about gemstones. Come for courses. Come for our live talks and check out our Zooming with Gems. And it will make your journey of collecting even more enjoyable. So I think that's about it for today. Our time is up. If you want to follow us, you can go to our Facebook. We have a YouTube channel, The Gem Museum, or even my personal YouTube channel, Tae Kun Ming. And also go to our Instagram. And thank you very much for joining us today. We hope that we have brought you some kind of fun and knowledge, and also company. Andrew, you have anything to say?
Thank you very much for attending. We enjoy your presence as much as you enjoy our talk.
Yeah. Oh, now somebody said, Shirley said, do go have your lunch. Okay.
Yes, time for lunch.
All right, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.